Welcome to Conversations Below the Surface, the CBS Podcast Shorts. I am your host, Marcus Gentry, and we hope you enjoy this episode. It was recently in the news about a young man who was arrested for driving under the influence while impaired, and the result was that he killed two people and I believe injured another one. It's against the law, illegal to drive while impaired. But I'm mentioning that story about that young man because there is another violation that can happen that is just as deadly. But it's not on the legal books as a crime, but it is a devastation to people the same way. It causes wreckage, it causes harm, and in some cases it can even cause death. And I'm talking about communicating while impaired, communicating while under the influence. And I'm not talking now about the influence of alcohol or other drugs. I'm talking about when your communication has been impaired or you're under the influence of, let me start off with exaggerated emotions. And maybe the emotions comes because you are dealing with anger about something else, and you're now trying to communicate with somebody, but you're under the influence. Your emotions are impairing the way that you communicate. And communication, we know, is two parts. It's one, speaking, and listening is the other part. So it may be impairing your ability to even listen well to what someone else, because you're impaired by the emotions that you have, the anger that you have about something, or maybe you're resentful about something, and maybe you're dealing with sadness, or maybe you're dealing with depression. Somehow your emotions are exaggerated and you're trying to communicate with someone, make a connection with someone. And it can cause problems because you're not able to hear well and you're not able to speak well while you're under the influence. Maybe you're under the influence of some kind of exaggerated emotion that you're dealing with because of a moral dilemma that you're having, trying to decide if something is right or wrong, and it's impacting your ability to communicate. Maybe something physical has caused you mental distress, and you're under the influence of that physical condition, and you're trying to communicate through that, and your words aren't coming out the way that you would like them to. And in some cases, it can cause wreckage, it can cause harm, communicating while impaired or under the influence. Maybe it's not exaggerated emotions. Maybe you are communicating under the influence of implicit biases that you have against someone that's implicit. So you're not even consciously aware of what they might be, meaning you've stereotyped people because of their language, their skin color, their religion, the neighborhood they live in, their financial status, their political position. Somehow you have a bias against people who look a certain way, sound a certain way, move a certain way in life. And maybe that stereotype has moved into prejudice. So now you judge them because of that. And you're trying to communicate with them, but you've already stereotyped them a certain way. Those people are that way. Or when anybody talks that way, or I hate people with an accent, or any kind of thing that you might have might impact the way that you communicate, your speaking or listening. Maybe it has to do beyond just your judgment against them or your stereotyping. Now maybe you've started to discriminate. Maybe there's certain people that you either don't give opportunities to, or you don't involve yourself with, or you've made some kind of self-imposed restriction about listening to, watching, or doing certain things with certain people because you are now under the influence of implicit bias, because maybe you haven't taken the time to look carefully at how you are looking and how you are listening to the world. Is it possible that you might be guilty of communicating while impaired or communicating under the influence? Thank you for listening to this CBS Podcast Short. If you would like to hear more on this topic, please email me at respect@marcusgentry.com. And don't forget to check back for new episodes.